All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the fourth part of the show, we're going to now get into talking about the Packers-Bears game and what happened in that. Packers were coming off of a bye. They've won the previous, I think, 10 meetings against the Bears, and Matt LaFleur undefeated against the Bears, and that continued yesterday. Now, it wasn't easy. The Bears, coming off of letting go of their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. You figured the Bears were maybe going to look a little bit different. And, yeah, no, they had an opportunity to win this game. And unfortunately for them, they come up short. And I kind of feel, I do feel bad for the Bears because you have what happened in this game yesterday. You also had the Hail Mary against the Commanders. I mean, the Bears could very easily be 6-4, but now they're 4-6, and they're in their hard part of the schedule, and it's not looking good for them right now. There's definitely going to be changes at the head coach spot by the end of the year, but let's kind of go through it. The Packers, they put together a very nice drive to start off the game. They went right down the field, 8 plays, 70 yards, and that led to Jordan Love completing a touchdown pass to Jaden Reed for a 15-yard touchdown. There were too many men on the field for the Bears. There was also a offsides penalty on the Bears, but that was good. And like I said, Packers, were kind of been struggling a little bit offensively, so that was really good for the Packers to go right down the field and score. But then the Bears, they answered with a field goal drive, Cairo Santos from 53 yards out. Then both teams exchanged punts, and then the Packers, they went down the field. They got down to the Bears 5, but then you had an ineligible man downfield, so that set them back. And then Jaden Reed lost 5 yards on the next play, and then Love threw a pick trying to hit Tucker Kraft, ends up getting picked off. And then the Bears turned that into a touchdown. They go 13 plays, 76 yards. Caleb Williams actually did run a lot in this game. DJ Moore caught a 12-yard pass on this drive, and then later you had Roschon Johnson from 1 yard out score a touchdown, so that made it 10-7, and that was the score at the half. Then the Bears kicked a field goal to start off the second half, Cairo Santos from 27 yards out, and then the Packers answered with a touchdown drive. They went 6 plays, 70 yards. You had a 25-yard reception by Christian Watson on this drive, and he had a big day. That led to Josh Jacobs, who's been good in recent weeks, scored from 7 yards out to make it 14-13. And then the Bears responded. They went 11 plays, 78 yards. You had a big run by DeAndre Swift for a touchdown. This was a 39-yard touchdown. They went for 2 and they didn't get it, so that made it 19-14. Stayed at 19-14. Packers turned it over on downs on their next drive. You had a 48-yard reception by Christian Watson. I thought this was an interesting move. So they went for it on 4th and goal from the 6. Jordan Love took off with it, but he got tackled just short. He gets tackled at the 1. But the Bears, they ended up punting. And then the Packers, they went 4 plays, 78 yards down the field. And then Jordan Love did end up scoring his rushing touchdown. He did have a scramble before that. And then before that, you had Christian Watson making a diving catch. And then he got up. Nobody was around him. And he ended up going from... So this was 2nd and 6 from the Green Bay 26. Jordan Love throws to Watson, makes the catch, gets back up, and he takes it 60 yards down to the Bears' 14-yard line. Then you have Jordan Love scrambling. I thought he got in on this, but they ended up saying that he was short. And then on the next play, he scores, and that made it 20-19. They go for the 2. They run it with Josh Jacobs. He doesn't get it. So it stayed at 20-19. And then the Bears put together a nice drive. I mean, Caleb Williams got sacked a couple of times, but then he hits Rome Odunze for 16 yards on 3rd down, and then he hits Rome Odunze again for 21 yards. And then you had another 12 to Keenan Allen, and they get down to the Packers 28. And you figure they're going to win this game, right? Nope. Ends up getting blocked. And the Packers win, and they continue to win games against the Bears, 20-19. And they improved to 7-3 on the season. Jordan Love, 13 of 17 for 261 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Josh Jacobs, 18 carries, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Jordan Love had a rushing touchdown. Christian Watson, big day, 4 receptions for 150 yards. Josh Jacobs, 4 for 58. Jaden Reed, only 2 for 23, but he did have a touchdown. Packers defense, 3 sacks on the day. And then for the Bears, Caleb Williams was good, 23 of 31, 231 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He had 70 yards rushing. DeAndre Swift had 71 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Roshan Johnson had a touchdown. Rome Odunze, 6 receptions for 65 yards. DJ Moore had 7 for 62. Cole Kmet, 3 for 42. Bears defense only 1 sack of Jordan Love. But the offense did look better. They got back to running the football effectively in this game. Packers defense did struggle at times. The Bears, they had 179 rushing yards in this game. So that's not good for the Packers. And, they get the win. It hasn't looked great. I've been looking for them to kind of take that next step offensively. It's just it hasn't gotten there yet. You figure at some point this offense will really get it going, and they're going to have to because, you got the Lions coming up. You got the 49ers next week, and I know the 49ers did lose, but the 49ers are still a threat. We're not going to get to them today, but we will talk about it. But, yeah, the Packers are 7-3. They're in a good spot right now. And, again, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side, and they blocked that field goal, and it's just the Bears are unlucky. They're unlucky at times. I mean, with that and the Hail Mary, it's just it's been rough. It's been a rough few weeks for them. But you got to at least like that, you had DJ Moore was involved. Rome Odunze had a couple of big plays. They're running the football. And, the defense is still good. So, it's disappointing for Bears fans because they were hoping for better results. And, they just continue to lose against the Packers. And that's, it's unfortunate for them. Matt LaFleur still undefeated against the Bears, has not lost against them. And, Fox, when they were interviewing him, I think Aaron Andrews was talking to him about it. And he said, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. And he almost did, but they got the win. And, it was nice to see Christian Watson getting it going. And, he's kind of a boomer bust guy. He'll have these big games, but then there'll be days where he really doesn't do anything. But, his big day made the difference. But Jordan Love is still turning the ball over. That's something that needs to stop, to be contained a little bit, if the Packers are going to want to make a run here. Josh Jacobs, like I said, has gotten it going. The pass rush has got to be better too. Defense has got to be better. But this is still a good team, and they're still working through things, and that's that goes for some other teams as well. But you want to hope that they can figure it out and get back to how Jordan Love was playing towards the end of last year. Because if you get that version of Jordan Love, then this team is going to be very dangerous. But yeah, they got a tough game against the Niners next week at home. Niners are coming in desperate, coming off of a loss. Niners are beginning their tough stretch as well. So, and for the Bears, look, they did make progress in this game. The offense was a little bit better. And I think they take on next week, they take on the Vikings. And that's a home game for them. So that's going to be tough. And Sam Darnold looked better yesterday in their win over the Titans. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. They got all their divisional opponents, the Bears, so which I don't know why the NFL did that to them, but they did. So, but like I said, credit to the Packers picking up the win, and for the Bears, it's a tough loss for them. So, but let me know what you think about this game. What were your takeaways from it? Let me know in the comments. When we get back from our next break, we will discuss the Monday night matchup between the Texans and the Cowboys, which is not as enticing as it was because the Cowboys have not been good this year. And on top of that, Dak Prescott is out for the rest of the year. So not really that much juice in this matchup. Although the Texans will be getting Nico Collins back, so it'll be nice to see him out there. Micah Parsons made his return last week when they took on the Eagles, the Cowboys. So at least you got him back for this game. But offensively, the Cowboys are going to struggle. This is a good Texans defense. But we'll get into all that when we come back. Also, I did want to bring up that and we'll talk about it tomorrow, but Tommy DeVito will be starting next week for the Giants against the Buccaneers. The Daniel Jones era appears to be over, and Tommy Cutlets will be making his return to the field. So we'll make sure to talk about that tomorrow, but that was made that made the news this morning. But I wanted to focus on, of course, the games from yesterday. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll discuss it on the show and some of the other games I didn't get to. Also, we'll talk about the Jets and their loss to the Colts. There's a lot of stuff to get to. So we'll get into all that tomorrow. But I did want to bring that up. But yeah, so we're gonna take our final break now. And like I said, when we come back, we will preview tonight's game between the Texans and the Cowboys. And that will take us to the end of the show. So for one final time today, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.